Welcome back, everybody. In this tutorial, we are going to configure the flow of the user where they can add to cart and subsequently send that cart to the restaurant. So how do we do this, right? So if you recall in the previous tutorial, there was some very ugly kind of design by the AI in terms of the count. So here I've just replaced it with a count controller. However, when you replace it with a count controller, a bit of a problem happens. So you can see here, that FlutterFlow throws a warning that the current configuration will not work properly. Instead, consider creating a component based on this and then use it. So let's just do that, right? So let's just convert a component. Let's just call this item count. And that's how I want it to work. And then let's add this to this. Looks okay. So now FlutterFlow has stopped throwing the error. And what I want to do here is basically give it a unique key because it's optional here, right? But I want to make the unique key to be menu items, the reference. Just make that to document ID as unique. So that looks pretty good. Okay, so how do we configure this, right? So what I envision here is when the user can press plus and minus. The lowest minus being 0. So if you go to the widget itself, you can see here the initial count is 0. I'm going to set a minimum of 0 and a max of infinite. They can order 99 or 100 of steak if they want. Okay, so the action flow we need is basically we need to grab a parameter. So let's grab the items ref parameter first, so we know what item they're ordering, i.e. is it a steak or is it a start or some kind of starters, etc. So the item reference will be the menu items. Add that. I want to go back and configure this parameter and pass in the menu items reference. And then let's go back to our component. So what do I want it to happen? So I want to use the app state here to store what's in the cart. So I'm going to create an app state called cart items. And then it's going to be of custom data type, order detail. Remember how we first created that order detail custom data type? It's going to be a list. So that order item custom data type is the item reference and the quantity. Okay, so what I'll do here is when the user uses this count controller, we update this app state. This app state basically consists of the cart items, which is the list of order detail, i.e. what is in the cart. Remember the order detail is basically a custom data type of item reference and quantity. And I've written a set of code that basically does this, right? We can update this app state directly. So what it does is basically it just sets the structure here, what is the current cart items, and then it looks at what is passed as a parameter. So basically the item reference, and searches through the cart for this exact item. If it doesn't exist, we'll add it. We set the quantity to be the new quantity. And then if it exists, it just updates it with the new quantity as a parameter, and then else if it's 0, we just remove it, and then subsequently update the app state again based on this new structure. So how would I use this, right? So I'm going to use this on the component. So what I want to do here is update cart custom action, and I'm going to pass in the item reference of the component, which I've passed in from its parent page, and the quantity will be the widget state's count controller. And then that's how it would work. So I'm going to save this and then hit the hot reload again to show how it works. And okay, now that's loaded, you can see here everything is anchored to 0. So in app state, the cart item is empty. So if I add a dozen oysters, you can see here I have basically quantity is 1 now. And then if I add again, quantity is 2. And then let's add some steak. See, wow, this steak reference has been added. So we go to the back end of menu item v something. starts with V, is actually the Wagyu steak. So now that's done. So if I remove this added fish and chips, you can see the third item has been added. And let's say I remove it, now the cart has disappeared. So that's how this would work. So this is what it would look like. I think I need to configure this. Yeah, so that's what it looks like. So let's add a check. Let's configure this checkout button here. So when they press checkout, when navigate to a order summary page, let's just say, where it shows the item number or what they've basically what shows what's added to the cart from the app state. So let's do that. Maybe I'll just get AI again to add a page for me. Create order summary showing menu item name, quantity, and price, total price. Let's just do that. And let's see what it generates. Okay, so this is what it generated. Let's just stick with it. Let's insert the page. Let's say cart summary. Sure, I'll give you 5 out of 5. So let's do that. So this order summary page, it's got order details. I'm going to remove the tax row because that's not relevant. I'm going to remove these rows because I'm going to dynamically generate it from the app state. So let's go to the list view here. And I'm just going to maybe just put a total here. Something very basic. Cool. So in the list view, I'm going to not the biggest fan of the list view in here because I'm only scrolling, and list view just makes it more scrollable. So I'm just going to replace this with a column. So, okay, that's done. I'm going to generate dynamic children from the app state. So I'll say cart items list, save, voila. And then I'm going to add some padding of 4 here, maybe 8. And then what I want to do is I want to do in the row, I want to do a document from reference, menu item, and then I'm going to get the cart. And then the structure field I need is the item reference from the app state. So now I have access to the names. So I'm going to add the menu item name, the quantity. So I'm going to do a combined text field. Quantity is the cart items, data structure field, quantity, and then the total price. So here, the total price I need to calculate. So I'm just going to do a code expression here. So we're going to take 2 variables. So price per item, which is of type double, and I'm going to grab it from the menu item document, price, and then quantity would be from the cart item list, data structure field of quantity, and then the return type would be a double. And then just do this quickly, price per item times quantity. Check for error. Okay, what's going on? A string. Oh yeah, here you go. All right, that's annoying because this is outputting as a string. So if I just do this. Oh yeah, quantity is set as a integer here. And then let's try again. Okay, cool. Now that's done. This looks okay. Save that. Cool. Now that's saved. Let's look at this page. Okay. On tap, I want to navigate to the cart summary page. And then I'm going to do nothing special here. All right, easy. And then the total, let's remove this, the border here. Okay, to do the totals, let's simplify how we would do it. to reduce the number of calculations we're doing, right? Well, custom functions. What I want to do is basically in this cart, update cart, I'm actually going to include the total here. So you know how we did a total of code expression to show the total? I'm actually going to instead put a total figure in this state. So I am going to update the order detail field to include a total. Price. And then in this kind of schema, in the item reference, I'm going to call this price per item. And then I'm going to update this as a double here. So now that we have the price per item, what I want to do here is we're going to set a value of total to be the quantity times price per item. So this is the new set of code. We're basically adding a new argument called price per item. And here the total for each of this cart is price per item times the new quantity. So basically after that you've changed that, you will need to basically update the parameters, because I've basically changed the parameter. Instead of in this parameter, I need to grab the price to pass it in. Instead of doing a document from reference, which is another read, I'm just going to use the type. I'm going to use the items doc. Now the test mode is uploaded. Now the test mode is updated. Let's try it out. So if I add oysters, you can see here the total is $60.99. If I add another one, it's $20.99 or $121.98. So that's pretty good. So let's go back to our cart summary page. So instead of here calculating it, let's just take it directly from our app state. So our app state's cart item list will be data structure field, total, number format. Let's make it decimal, currency, done. Next, we will create a custom function to sum up this total, or sum up all these line items to create a big total. So let's create a custom function. It's going to be of type double, and then it's going to be a list. Argument is going to be a list of double called list of value. Maybe I'll just call Copilot to help us. So go sum up list of value and output as double. Let's do that. Okay, so now that's done. You can see it looks fine. So what it's doing is basically sum equals 0, then just add to 0. You just go through the list of value, adds it to 0. So custom function needs to be checked. That's fine. While it's doing that, I'm going to use this custom function. So I have not called this custom function a proper name. So I'll fix that a bit later. But here, the variable will be the map list item. We are grabbing the total. So we're going to map all the totals value into here. And then I'm going to format it as decimal and currency as well to show the total. Let's change this to sum cart total. Let's do that. Cool. Okay, now that's fine. Let's test the app out to see how it works. So let's hot reload this. And now that the app has loaded, let's add some oysters in, some garlic bread. Let's add a dessert and a drink. And then maybe add 2 sets of oysters. And let's press the cart button. So you can see here, oysters total is $121, $6.99 for 1 garlic bread, 1 chocolate cake, 1 Coke. And the total is $149.95. So that's how it works, right? Perfect. So now let's configure the final step from a customer ordering perspective when they press the place order. So this will be quite a simple thing. And what I'm hoping, if we look at the database structure again from an order perspective, here order will basically have a restaurant reference, the order credit time, table number, order detail, which is our custom data type, and order completed. So it's all pretty basic, right? So all we're going to do here is on tap, create the document, and then we're going to go orders, and then add these fields. So what do we need? We need the restaurant reference. So the restaurant reference is not being passed on. So let's do that, right? So we're going to add this, pass the restaurant reference across the board all the way to this page. So it'll be document reference, restaurant reference, and then on this page, on the custom order page, we will also grab the restaurant reference, which is a page parameter already. So that's easy. So the restaurant reference will be the page parameter reference, order credit time will be the current time. The table number we entered in the first page, but we really haven't stored it. We can store it in the app state if we want. Let's do that, right? Let's create an app state called order table number. I believe it was type integer, and let's, when they first come on board, let's also set the app state to, and not rebuild, set it as the widget's value here, text field. Cool. So now we're accessing the table number. Now this table number is accessible from the app state. So I'm just going to app state, table number, and then order detail. I'm going to select set value from the app state, cart items, order completed. I'm going to set as false. So that's done. I'm going to, let's just say a snack bar, order sent to restaurant, and then I am going to navigate back, and then I'm also going to clear the app state in case the user wants to order more items. So I'm going to clear the value here, and then I need to rebuild, navigate back. Looks good. I'm going to save it, and let's test it out to see if it works. So I'm going to hot reload this. So now the app has loaded, let's go through the whole customer journey. So I'm going to order some oysters, some garlic bread, and a drink. And then go to cart. You can see here it's $60. The total is $78.97. I'm going to place the order. And now that the order has placed, it says order sent to restaurant, and it goes back to the first page. That allows the customer to order more if they want. And then if we go to the backend database, we can see here we just placed that order at 4:08:59 seconds, and this is what we had. We had some, well, basically I think it was the oysters and the drink, and I can't remember what this menu item is, but it is here. It's all stored there with all the relevant information. So we've covered a lot here, so let's take a pause here. What we've covered is basically the whole customer order journey, from adding to cart to calculating a summary and then placing the order. In the next tutorial, I'm going to cover the QR code component, and finally being able to, for the restaurant to see what orders have come in and for them to mark them as completed. Remember to comment, like, and subscribe to stay updated on this series, or if you like more FlutterFlow tutorials. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Thanks, bye.